So in lesson 3.6, applying rational number operations, you're basically going to take everything that you've done in Module 1, Module 2, and what you've learned in Module 3, and per the standard, it's EE3, expressions and equations. You're going to solve problems with positive, negative, rational numbers in any form using tools strategically. So you guys got a lot of tools at your hands now that you can go ahead and use. The essential question then is, how do you use different forms of rational numbers and strategically choose tools to solve those problems? So we got all your operations: add, subtract, multiply, divide. You have fractions. You have decimals. You have positive and negative integers. You got the rational numbers. So you're going to have to look at all of that and figure out which one that you're going to use. So one of the things you have to do is look at the reasonableness of your answers when you come up with them. So in example 1, John is hanging a picture. He wants to center it horizontally on the wall. The picture is 32.5 inches long, and the wall is 120 inches and 3/4 inches long. How far from each edge of the wall should he place it? So we go through a series of steps on how we do that. Highlight our information. Center, okay. Picture's 32.5 inches. The wall is 120. And then how far from the edge. So continue to be in the habit of highlighting your information. That is so very important. So it helps you concentrate and focus. Okay. So we find the amount not covered. So they're going to take the 120 minus the 32, and they come up with this answer. And then they're going to split it because you're looking to see how much is going to be on each side of the picture. So they take half of this. So John should place the picture 44.1 inch from each edge of the wall. So they're talking about this piece right here. So from this edge to the edge of the picture, that would be the 44.1, and then the same thing would be from here to here. Okay. So then you want to check for your reasonableness of the answer. So if you do some rounding. So if you do 120 inches and 30. Okay, so you subtract, that's 90, divide that by 2, 45 inches. And that seems be pretty reasonable with the 44.1 and 45 inches on each side of the picture. Here's another one for you on your turn. Okay, using rational numbers in any form. Again, you've done integers, positive and negative fractions, positive and negative decimals. You guys have done a lot. So be pretty proud of what you've accomplished so far. And you're doing really good. So any problems may have any of these forms. So Elena uses 1 1/4 cups of flour for each batch of blueberry muffins she makes. She has a 5-pound bag of flour that costs $4.49 and contains 76 1/4-cup servings. How many batches can Elena make if she uses all the flour? How much does the flour of one batch cost? A lot of information here for you to highlight. Okay. So we have uses 1 1/4 cups for each batch. She has a 5-pound bag that costs $4.49, and that contains 76 1/4-cup servings. How many batches can she make to use all the flour, and how much does flour for one batch cost? Okay, so you got a lot of information there. So we look down and we start analyzing what we have. So each batch uses 1 1/4 cups of flour. 76 1/4 cups of servings cost $4.49. So basically they took the whole 5-pound bag there. Okay. So figure out some plan that you're going to come up with. So this is their plan. The number of cups in a flour bag. So 76 times 1/4. So they come up with 19. You remember I showed you how to 76, put it over 1. 76 times 1, so that's 76 fourths. Or how many times does 4 go into 76? So you can do, which is the same thing here, and it's going to be 19. All right. So I just simply took 76 times 1, 1 times 4, and that equals 76 fourths. And then you got to do your division. 4 divided into 76. 4 goes in once, so that's 4. We subtract that, that's 3, 6. And my math facts, 4 times 9, 36, and on the left was 0. So that's how I came up with 19. Number of batches that Elena can make. So you take the total cups of flour divided by the cups of flour per batch. So 19 divided by 1 1/4. So I take that and I get 15.2. You go through the long division. This is your numerator, that's your denominator. So I'm going to take 1.25 and we'll divide that into 19. Okay, a little tricky here. This is new. We got to get rid of this guy. So I'm going to move him over 2. But what I do here, I have to do here. Here's where my decimal is, 1, 2. So that's going to be 19,000. Does 125 go into 190? Yeah, it goes into it once. So 125. Okay. So I have to do my math. So I'm left with 5 there. I borrowed from here, so that's 8. So that's 6. I bring down my 0. Looks like it might go into it. If I do 4 times, that's going to be 500. So I can go into it 5 times. So it's going to give me 625. So I mentally did that in my head, but what I was doing here was that I have my multiplied by 5. So that's 5 times 6. I'm sorry, that's 2. Carry 2. 5 times 2 is 10, 11, 12. Carry 1. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 1, so 625. I mentally did that in my head. Okay, so I got 5. So I'm left with 25 down here. I'm going to add a 0. My decimal's right there. Okay, so I bring down my 0. And I know 125 times 2 will give me 250. So I'm left with 0. Okay, so that's 2. So 15.2, okay, is how many batches that I can make. And then we go ahead and we can't make, this is a good point right here, we can't make 0.2 batches, so the most we can make is 15, okay? So we take 449 divided by 15, and we get 29, well, it's $0.299 or 29.9 cents, or about 30 cents for each batch. So then we did some rounding here, because 76 goes up to 80, or about 20 cups, all right? So they go ahead and explain all that right here. So you have a problem here at your turn that you can go ahead. Example 3, highlight your information, go through their steps. I'm going to do a separate video on percentages, so I'd recommend you go see that, and then we can go ahead and work through doing conversion between fractions, decimals, and percents, how we're going to do that, okay? But this example here is pretty straightforward, shows you what to do. Then there's your turn, and we get to your guided practice. So that wraps up our whole lesson, 3.6. It also wraps up our module, and it wraps up our unit. So got any questions on any of the lessons, any of the modules, any of the units, or this unit, go back and check out all the other videos that we've made and see how they can help out. Turn to your master leaders inside your class and see how they can help you out. And certainly, by all means, get up with me, ask me for help, and I'll gladly help you out. Have a good day.